When we are out there in the dark, we'll dream about the sun. In the dark we'll seek the light, warms our hearts, everyone. If we hold on together, I know our dreams will never die. Dreams see us through to forever. As high as souls will fly, the clouds roll by for you and I. Hi everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of TV Talk. It's Saturday, and that means it's Touched by an Angel Day. And this week's episode was The Pact. The communal gathering breeds depression at a summer camp for HIV-positive girls. The angels act quickly to stop the girls from completing their suicide pact. Okay, things I liked about this episode. First off, I really liked the message behind this episode. And the message, I believe, and again, message-wise, this is what I think the message is. If you get a different message out of it, I'd love to hear where it is. But the message I believe was part of this episode was that no matter how hopeless something is, you should never give up. Now, these girls were diagnosed with HIV. And will eventually, if they don't die from something, some other illness associated with HIV, will eventually develop AIDS and sadly die from that. This is still a big thing going on out there, or in the world. There is the search for the cure to HIV and AIDS, and the search for a cure for cancer, and hopefully we will find the cures at some point in time. Do I think it will happen in my lifetime? I'm not ruling it out, but I think it won't happen in my lifetime. I think it will be after my lifetime. Just based on how aggressive these diseases are. But, got sidetracked here. These girls were diagnosed with HIV. All the girls, the campers at the camp, had some form of HIV or had AIDS. I believe the girls that were the focus point of this episode really just had HIV. They really don't get into it all that much. And they were in like this hopeless situation where they felt, what's the point of going on in everything, and had decided that they were going to basically end it. And I can see where being in a situation like that would be very depressing, and depression can lead to thoughts of suicide. I mean, I've been very depressed myself. I'm sure everybody at some point has. So, again, what I feel the message of this episode is, or states, is that, again, no matter how hopeless things are, if you have the will and the drive to keep going, you can see things through to the end, no matter what the outcome is. or you can turn a hopeless situation into a positive one. I also liked how they actually, well, they didn't get into the whole discussion of HIV and AIDS. They did touch a little bit on it because one of the girls mentioned that her mom didn't know she had it, and then they both ended up getting it. That is one way for children to get HIV or AIDS, is if the mother has it, she can pass it on to her children. Now, doesn't necessarily have to happen. Women who have HIV or AIDS can have children that don't have it. They just have to be on a course of regimens. I believe, if you want to learn more about HIV and AIDS, go to Wikipedia or your local library. You can find a wealth of information there. But I think women with HIV can still have children that are free of the virus, but don't quote me on that. Keywords in that sentence was I think, or were I think. So don't take my word for that. But that is one way children can get HIV or AIDS, is from the mother at birth, because she doesn't know she has it. Other ways children can get it is if they receive a blood transfusion. That is another very common way children can get it. Not as common now, as blood donors are any blood that is collected at blood drives is screened for any blood-borne illness such as HIV or AIDS. So it is not given to somebody who when it's transfused, but that still is a very common way for that to happen. And then there is the very third common way for it to happen, but this is more with teenagers and adults, and that is through adult situations. And we're just going to leave it at that. I'm not going to really get into the description of it. You know what I'm talking about. And we're going to leave it at that. Now, this is not the first episode where they talked about AIDS on or HIV on Touched by an Angel. The season 1 finale touched on it a little bit, not so much on the actual illness, HIV or AIDS, but Tess and Monica, and then later Sam, were helping out at a hospice that specifically catered to people with HIV and AIDS. Probably also other people, but those were the two big things that were causing the controversy. Well, there was others going on. To find out more about that, you can watch my video on the season 1 finale. And then in season 2, I believe it was called The Reunion, they kind of brought it up as well. So this is the third episode where HIV and AIDS is mentioned in the episode in some way, shape, or form. And the second one where they actually dealt with it. There were a character or characters dealing with it. And I believe it is something that we need to talk about. We do need to educate our children about it, and so they know, number one, how they can contract it, and number two, how to prevent themselves from contracting it. And number three, so they're not afraid of it. I think when AIDS and HIV first came out, a lot of people were afraid of contracting it because we didn't know how people were contracting it. And even in the 90s, there was still, 90s is really when it started coming, becoming prevalent. But people were still confused on how you could get it. And we really do we need to just talk about this with each other, with our children, and can basically present the facts, because it is something that you can prevent yourself from getting if you understand it and you know the precautions to take. Okay, on the flip side of that coin, things I didn't like about this episode. There was absolutely nothing I didn't like about this episode. I thought it was very good. I loved the ending, and I liked how it touched on something that at the time was in the media, and it's still talked about to a degree. I believe it is very important for us to understand this illness. Notice I'm saying illness, not disease. Because I do believe at some point in time we will find a way to cure people who have HIV or AIDS. Just like at some point in time, I believe we will find a way to cure people who have cancer. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but I believe if we keep making strides, it will happen sometime. Okay, feel free to leave your comments and questions in the comment section. I do love to read those. Please like and share this video if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, Twitter, and DeviantArt. I do have my name for those 5 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artist. I own absolutely nothing. The links for the 5 sites I mentioned will be in the description section if that makes it any easier for you guys to find those sites, or my pages on those sites. And if you're watching on Facebook, the link for my YouTube site will be in the description section. And if you're watching on YouTube, the link for my Facebook page will be in the description section. Okay, quick reminder on my comment rules. Okay, feel free to check out my other Touch by an Angel videos. My other TV talk videos. And my other videos. Okay, before I sign off, a couple of things I'd like to touch on. First off, and this is for my YouTube subscribers, any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. Again, the link will be in the description section. And this is for my Facebook friends. Any of my videos that cannot be found on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. Again, the link will be in the description section. I will be posting the links for all my YouTube videos to Facebook, including those that are dual posted to Facebook. They are dual posted to Facebook and YouTube. But if you're having any problems viewing those links, please either let me know or go directly to my YouTube channel. Lastly, I would like to apologize for not posting a video last week. Unfortunately, things were a little crazy and I just did not have time. As always, thank you for watching and have a very nice day.